Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to whatever day of VEDA. I've lost track. I'm not even gonna pretend. But I think that each week of VEDA, I'm gonna take a step back and do a tag video. So I know tags are not as popular as they used to be, but I still love watching a good tag. So if you are here, you are watching this 10 book challenge video tag, then tag, you're it. I might tag some people down below in the description box. I have not decided yet. But for today's challenge, it's called the 10 book challenge, and it's basically you take a few minutes to pick 10 books that mean something to you. Don't overthink it, just 10 books, and no more than like 3 minutes to peruse your shelves or think or peruse your digital collection. I'm not sure how you want to do it, but I perused my physical collection and I kept going back to one that I read several months ago at this point that I don't own. And since it's on that list, we're gonna start with Rust Stop by Nat Cassidy. And here's the thing. I gave this book 2 stars to start with. I did that purely because I did not enjoy the ending. I did not like the direction that it went, but I loved the beginning of this book. So I don't want to spoil it. I think I'm going to try and do this without spoilers as much as possible for the 10 books that I picked. But for Rest Stop, like, it's a horror novel that takes place at a gas station so that, you know, you go into the bathroom. And then horrifying things happen in that bathroom and outside of that bathroom. And I was scared to go use a public restroom for a month. For a freaking month. I could not go to the bathroom in public. So I always was like, wait, let me go to the bathroom. And I mean, I still try to go before I leave because, you know, public restrooms are gross. But I was scared of using public restrooms because of that book. Because there are, okay, the power goes out. And there are things in the bathroom. It's not like a stall. It's just one big room. You know, like a bathroom. I was scared. I was scared that something was gonna happen to myself. And now, even now, sometimes if I'm thinking too hard about Rest Stop, then I'll just go to my bathroom and I'll like go and leave really fast because I don't want to be in there longer than I need to. And that sounds so funny and I really want to laugh, but it's a serious problem as I laugh. I'm scared to use the restroom. That is the most ridiculous fear in the world. Probably not, but oh my gosh, it makes me feel so silly. But if you read this book, you'll understand why. I remember, like, I read that book in one day because it's a novella, and it was on my Kindle, and I'm sitting there reading it, and then I look over at my husband, and I'm like, I have to go pee. And he's like, then go pee. And I'm like, are you sure? And he's like, yes, go pee. And so I'm just like sitting there, all right. And he's like, in the bathroom. And I'm like, oh, I can't go in the bathroom right now. And he's just like, why? I don't understand. And I'm like, yeah, Yeah, exactly. You don't get it. So that's book number 1. Book number 2 is, of course, Where the Red Fern Grows by Wilson Rawls. Because, like, if I did not have this book on this list, then you know I'd be lying. This is my favorite book of all time. It was also the first chapter book that I could read on my own. And here's the thing. This is friendship to the max. This is dedication. This is perseverance. And Billy, oh my God, Billy. Okay, here's the thing. I love my husband. He will always be, you know, like my heart. But Billy had my heart when I was 10. Oh my gosh. And like Billy and old Dan and little Ann, and oh my God. And just like being a part of Billy's family. Oh, chef's kiss. Just, I could give this all the stars in the world. I would. And honestly, I mean, look, this is the 10-year edition. 10 year? I don't think it's 10. It's got to be more than that. But my husband got me this really cute edition. But oh my God, this is like the best book in the world that I've ever read. Okay. Then I kept going back to Addie LaRue, The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. So here's the thing. I was not going to read this. I really wasn't. But I was doing this reading vlog. If I can find it, I'll link it. It's been a long time. It's been like 4 years, 5 years. Ooh, 5 years now. But I did this reading vlog where I was doing like the scavenger hunt and picking my next book, and somehow I came across The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, and I'm like, I think in the vlog I had read a book that Amanda had gifted me, and I'm like, oh, I should let Amanda pick the book for me. Instead of calling her and letting her pick, I was like, you know, she's been talking about Addie LaRue, and I have no interest in this book. So I went in very reluctantly. But, gosh damn, this book just tore my heart out. So, like, it is very slow and very boring for the first half. But then there just becomes a point where Addie, like, is you, and you are Addie, and you would do anything for her. And, like, it's so sad because she didn't want to get married when she was 15. So she ran away, and she met this person, this demon, this devil. I don't know. She met someone who was like, hey, you know, I can make it so you don't have to get married. But what this entity didn't tell her was that people would forget her as soon as she left the room. So this is like her hundreds of years of existence, because, you know, she gets to live forever, of loneliness, of darkness, of depression. And this book, especially like the ending, oh my God, the ending shattered me. I saw it coming, but it shattered me. And here's the thing. The worst feeling in the world is being surrounded by people but still being lonely. And the fact that I know that should speak wonders to you. Should speak millions of words and millions of light years, and just it should speak to your heart. And The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue shows the loneliness even when you're surrounded by people. Even though like no one really knows you. And that is why this book is so powerful to me, is because of the loneliness that sometimes you get. Because people think, hey, you're a mom, you're always surrounded by kids or people. Hey, you're a wife, you have a husband and you love him, and you know, there's no way you're lonely. Hey, you're a teacher, you're surrounded by children all day, there's no way you're lonely. Sometimes it doesn't matter if you're surrounded by people. You could still be lonely, and that is the most emotional, most disheartening feeling in the world. And Addie and I understand each other full-heartedly. Okay, now we're going to change tones a lot. Those were very heavy, very sad. We're going to Mrs. Emily Dickinson. This is the collected poems of Emily Dickinson. I mean, I also have this really beautiful edition and envelope poems from Emily Dickinson. I will gladly take anything Emily Dickinson off your hands. But here's the thing. I love Emily's poetry. Like, she was brilliant. And I think Emily Dickinson did what Jane Austen did for romance, but I think Emily Dickinson did it for poetry, and she did it, dare I say it, better. I don't know. I haven't finished all of Jane Austen's work, so that's not fair. But here's the thing. I was an English major in college. I was not going to become a teacher. I didn't want to teach. I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I knew that I've always had this love for words. So I started my major of English. Then I tacked on a major of history because I'm a huge history lover. Huge history buff. And one of my classes, actually, I had this teacher like for 3 classes, I think, 2 or 3 classes, but one of them was a creative writing course. And one of the projects was to write a poetry where you capture a poem, where you capture a moment in time. And I really put my heart and soul into that poem, as I did for most of my assignments, but there was something about the creative writing course in general that I full-heartedly loved it. And I got an A. I think I got the highest grade in class, but I got an A+. And then my teacher commented, and he said that my writing was very reminiscent of Emily Dickinson. What? Oh my god. That was like the highest praise that you could give me. And I just like, I was feeling some sort of like happiness for many days after that. That was like, that was so good. It made me want to scream with excitement and joy. And oh my god, I just full-heartedly like, thank you. I kind of want to get back into writing. So I don't know, that made me just really giddy. Like I said, we're gonna change tones again. So if we go from giddiness and happiness to like sorrow and sadness and anger, I do apologize, but my My preferences and what I read are scattered everywhere. So this one almost didn't make my list, but this is Where's Molly by H.G. Carlton. I really want to read this entire series. This is the first in a spin-off series, but I think the first one is Haunting Adeline. I need that book. Just saying. This is a dark romance. Please don't judge me. This is a smutty dark romance. It's also very short, but you follow Molly, who's been missing, and the people that know where she is are disturbing. And I don't know what I can tell you without it being a spoiler, but oh my god, this took me for a ride. And honestly, yeah, Molly is questionable at the end of the day, but she had her reasons for doing what she did, and I don't blame her. It makes me feel all kinds of wrong liking this book. But it was so good. Again, we're changing moods from dirty and all kinds of wrong to all kinds of wrong in a different direction. This one will break your heart. This is After I Do by Taylor Jenkins Reid. So, I have been with my husband for way too long. No, we've been together since I was 17. So, you know, we've been together forever. And I do realize that I am the lucky one, that being with him truly is my dream come true. With that being said, I love my husband full-heartedly. Like, I love him. 2 pieces. After I Do follows Ryan and Lauren, who have been married for 7 years, I think. And they decide that they're gonna take a year off of their marriage. He's gonna move out, and they're not gonna talk for an entire year. And they're gonna see after a year if they still love each other, because they don't question if they love each other or not. It's not about that. It's about how they both lost sight of who they were without the other one. And this packs such a powerful punch, because there have been, everyone says marriage is like butterflies and hand-holding and love and laughter and amazing moments. And yes, marriage is all of that. But marriage is also slam doors, fights at 2 a.m., crying myself to sleep next to the person that loves you, is supposed to love you. And I don't doubt that he loves me or that I love him, but sometimes, you know, it's staying up till 2 a.m. helping the other one who's barfing, or staying up till 3 a.m. because your child is barfing. And it's the lack of sleep, it's the unhealthy habits, it's all of the dark moments and the sad moments and everything, nothing being right sometimes. But and After I Do, I just saw my husband and I so much, because there have been times, especially before we were married, where we technically called it quits. I don't know. We took a little bit of a break, and we honestly did not like each other that much in that year. That was so rough for us. But it just shows what marriage really is like. And I full-heartedly fell in love with both of these characters and just like sobbed so hard. Then we have The Godparent Trap by Rachel Van Dyken. Okay, this one this one made me sob too. But this one's more of a romantic comedy, and it's a breath of fresh air, and it's happiness, but okay. You follow Kobe and Rip, who are, so Kobe was his sister's best friend, and Rip is, like the brother, and his sister, her best friend, died in a really bad accident, and they are now taking care of their nieces and nephews. I think they have 2 kids. I don't remember. So they have their children that are now theirs, and they never wanted children. They just wanted to be auntie and uncle. And they hate each other at the beginning of the book. And it's very much like slow burn, hate to love romance, and it's more of a romantic comedy, and there are some really spicy scenes in here, and it's got a good balance of everything. But I full-heartedly, I need to stop saying that. I like really loved the characters, and it made me wonder, like, what if me and my husband died? Like, who would my children go to? Well, never mind, I already know, but and then another sad one was A Dog's Purpose by W. Bruce Cameron. This follows Bailey, who is a doggo, and he has many lives. So it's like following him after death, and he's reborn. And I mainly read this at the exact worst time, because my dog Wyatt, he got sick, like really sick, to the point that we took him in to the vet, and I put him down. And I was about halfway done with this book. I was heartbroken. Could not stop crying. And I went home and finished this book, because I'm a monster and I do that to myself. And it was terrible timing, but it was exactly what my broken heart needed to heal. Alright, then we have Know My Name by Chanel Miller. This is the only nonfiction that made it on this list. This follows Chanel Miller on the night that she was assaulted. And there are bits and pieces that she doesn't remember, that she'll probably never remember. But this grabbed me, had me in a chokehold. And it's very difficult to read. It's very violent, and there are some things that, someone should never have to go through. But she did go through it, and now she's a survivor, and she wrote about it, and oh my god, can't even imagine. And the last one is Miracle Creek by Angie Kim. This is like a courtroom thriller, which I typically don't like, but this follows the small town in Virginia where they're doing this new experimental treatment for autism. And there's backlash from the community saying, well, if your baby was born with autism, then that's how they're supposed to be. Why would you want to change them? And then there are other people that are like, well, if there's something wrong with them, then I'm going to try the treatment. But like, who's to say that autism is something wrong? People think differently than normal, which, like, by the way, normal doesn't exist anyway. But they take these people, these children with autism, and they put them through this treatment to try to cure their autism. And because there's so many differing views of, well, you should love your child the way they are, or, well, I'm just trying to fix them, I'm trying to make their life easier, something happens and the clinic that is doing the experimental treatment goes up in flames. There's a fire, and there is a child who dies. This child had autism, and this book is like day 1 of the trial, day 2 of the trial, day 3 of the trial, day 4 of the trial, and each day is a different perspective of what happened until you finally get all the little pieces of what happened. And I was questioning everyone. I just could not imagine. And it ended up going in a direction that I didn't think it would, but I didn't dislike it. I love this book, and I especially love the, like, well, we should cure autism. Oh, no, we shouldn't. I'm not gonna tell you where I stand on that, but I definitely have a very big stance. I don't talk political things or anything like that because I'm an educator and I can't share my opinions about certain things anyway. So I just kind of pretend that I don't have an opinion. But if you really want to talk shop a little about autism and like the differing views in this book, you can contact me on Instagram or comment down below and we can talk about it. But those are the 10. That was the 10 book challenge. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to my channel.